So finally it's the day I get rid of these crappy lights. I've just got the electrician coming around at about 9:30, and they're going to replace that particular really cruddy little fluoro with two downlights, I would think, in the bedroom. And now moving to the bathroom, that's where it's really going to make a difference, because the fluoro there doesn't even work anymore. Mainly because I wasn't able to work out how to replace it. It's really difficult. It's a round fluoro, the actual bulb, and it's very snugly encased in that plastic housing, that cheap plastic housing. And again, I'll get two fluoros, two downlights that'll replace it, which will be fantastic. Currently, this is what I'm actually using for light, is this little night light, which is quite good. It's LED night light. I think I picked up at Target or Kmart. It might have been Target, I'm not sure. And this one I got at another El Cheapo shop, another little LED battery light. And so that works out well for that, but it's not an ideal long-term solution. And again, just going to have this bedroom done. The same sort of crappy lights. And there's the actual bulb. Very strange. I've never come across these before, but they're real pains to work with, because you've got to slot them in at that little area there. And then wrap it around snugly in that housing, and I found it very difficult to do. So yeah, this is going to be great. And of course the kitchen, same sort of situation. Going to probably have at least two downlights here, and maybe three. I'm going to have 12 in total, and I'll have at least 3 here, but maybe I'll have 4 here. I think I'll have a spare one, so I'll probably be able to indulge myself with that. So really looking forward to having an upgrade to the flat. I've been putting this job off for about 2 years, and it's about time I got it done. So and a number of these lights aren't working. The one in the lounge isn't working anymore, and either is the one in the bathroom. So yes, and the kitchen. So it's high time I actually got the thing fixed. It's a noisy car over there. Jesus. Yeah, a bit overcast here today. Quite nice day. A little bit of a breeze. Not too bad. Just noticed that bruise I got. The letter had been shoved in really hard into the letterbox. Absolutely lodged there. I pulled it out and I got a really bad bruise and a couple of cuts on my hand. I had to pull it that hard to dislodge it from the slot. And that was over a week ago. I think it's about two and a half. Yeah, maybe 10 days, 2 weeks. I've still got this damn bruise. That's not good. Yeah, interesting day today with tradies and all like. I finally got an answer from, well, not finally, I contacted someone in the local trade listings, someone who does plastering, because I need to get I got my lights done, and that was fantastic. Actually, that worked out really well. Got a good price, and they finished the job within 4 hours, so I was really happy. A couple of guys worked on it, and the lights are really good too. They're LED lights. I didn't know whether I was going to get LED lights or not, but apparently they're standard now, because the technology's improved so much that each LED light's only about 15 bucks. They come with a 7-year guarantee, which is amazing, and they only use 10 watts of power. And in my biggest space in the lounge room, I've got 4 of those in the ceiling, and of course they run cool too compared to the quartz halogen lights, so they're better as far as fire safety is concerned too. So it's good all round. So I had 12 of them in total. 2 in every other room apart from the lounge, because the lounge is such a big area, so that had double the number. I got my dimmer lights, and also the other really good thing is that the dimmer board has actually got 2 different switches, so I can actually turn on, I don't have to turn on all 4 of those lights in that room at once. I can do 2 at a time, and I think 2's more what I'm going to use most of the time anyway. But apparently they last a lifetime. That's why they give them a 7-year guarantee. It's just not like normal lights. We've got to change them every year or 2. It's just not like that, so it's brilliant. And of course they use bugger all power, 10 watts each, and that really lightly illuminates every room. for the normal rooms, and then 4 of them obviously, you know, it's more than enough light for the lounge areas. It's brilliant. Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't realise that they'd gone ahead so much. Apparently they'd gone down in price the last 2 years, because I was chatting to one of the guys there, and he was quite a nice guy, and he ran his own business as an electrician, but he preferred to do it. He said it's just too much paperwork and crap to worry about. He preferred to actually work for someone else, with a lot less hassles for him. And he said the money wasn't that much worse, so it was a no-brainer. Although he's a contractor, they're not employed directly as staff, so that's probably for superannuation and other reasons, tax reasons or whatever. I'm sure there'll be reasons for it. And so yeah, I had a bit of a chat with him. He also came up with a really good news about insulation. Apparently my little section of the roof is totally isolated from the others, so I could actually just go ahead and get myself insulation in the cavity above my flat. And he said that would be beneficial, because there's an air pocket between me and the other flats. So oh God, I don't know whether to walk here. It's a horrible red light here, and it's a red light there. So what do you do? So that was really good news. And the price they did it for was great. I was happy. They got there about 10 o'clock. It was a real schmozzle too, because that was actually slotted in for the week after, but I'd sort of thought that was a week after, the following week, to when I rang up, or when I actually emailed them, I should say. And so I was expecting to turn up. Then I looked at the actual email, and it said the 4th of June, which is a week later. But the funny thing is, the girl in the office must have also been confused by the dates, and she sent them out that day. So it was fine, because I was actually prepared for them to come over anyway. So yeah, it worked out well, as it turned out, because I had the cash on me. I was ready to go, so it's good. So it's all done. The only problem now is I've got holes in the plaster, in the actual ceiling, where the old light fittings were for the fluros. So they're about the size of, say, a 50-cent piece, a bit bigger maybe, but only marginal. It's not big holes. But I got a quote today from a guy that does that sort of work, and I couldn't believe it. He said, he quoted me a ballpark figure of $500 to get them get those holes plastered. He said, "I'll be a whole J job." And I'm used to having this guy in Melbourne years ago who did all this stuff for me. He's a friend of a friend, and he did it for a song, but he's given me mates rates. Obviously, he's really nice guy. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm in reality now, and I've got to get tradies. But I thought the electricians were reasonably priced. I was very happy with what they quoted me. But this quote today of 500, he said, "Oh well, it might only be 350, but it's way above what I expected." I thought, you know, it would be a small job, you know, maybe a few hours of work, and I was looking at, you know, optimistically around $100, but obviously that's way too optimistic. Maybe 200 in that case. I should be able to get someone to do it for that. It does pay to shop around though, because I remember the same thing happening when I got to get that trike constructed. I was quoted by one place about more than double what the other one charged. So yeah, it does pay to shop around. So I'm getting another quote. I finally got on to the other guy that I got a referral for a handyman from one of the electricians installing the lights. And I rang the guy yesterday but couldn't get through, but today he had an answer machine on, so I left a message with him. So I'll find out what he's going to do it for, because, you know, 350 to 500 just seems ridiculously high to me, but maybe I'm living in cloud cuckoo land, so I'll find out soon enough. But I think it's sensible for me to get a few quotes. But overall, it's just great to get that job done with the lights, and they're all working now, and yeah, they all look nice and flush, and it's a really good effect, and it's going to save me money in the long term because they're so efficient. It's hard to believe that they're throwing out as much light as they are, because, you know, 10 watts isn't much from, say, an incandescent lamp, but
But when it's an LED light, it's over twice the amount of light for that cost. Could be 3 or 4 times. It seems like that anyway. So it's very good. Very happy with what they did. So good to get that one out of the way. Now I'm just going to go have myself a Guinness. I've been in the house the last couple of days, even though the weather's been okay. So time to get out and about, I think. Oh, I did have one other major hassle today, and that was with Dick Smith. And I've still got this. I bought this Sony Mini Hi-Fi system, and I've had technical problems with it. The power cuts out after about half hour to an hour's use, and also one of the channels, it keeps cutting out intermittently. And they've really been giving me the runaround at Dick Smith customer service, because I bought it online, and I checked out productreview.com, where I've actually put a few reviews in the past, and yeah, there's a few people bucketing them, that's for sure. Not happy campers. I think that business could be in a lot of trouble if they got that bad of feedback. I wrote a pretty scathing review, but now it's got to be sent to the actual company because the productreview.com want the company to have a chance to get back to me on it and get it resolved. I know it's really weird because they're just a review site. I don't know why they're doing that. So that was out of left field. And if they don't get back to them in 7 days, then the review will be posted online. And if I don't hear back from them, I'll definitely go to Consumer Affairs, because they're also the mob who ask you to make a video explaining the problem. I think that's just a way of putting people off actually going further with the customer service process. But it certainly put me off, but I'm going to continue on. Now I've got my teeth in, I won't let go though. I'm going to be fairly stubborn on it. So stuff them.
Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.